Okay, good morning, boys and girls. I'm going to do the comprehension part of our packet for today, and the title of our passage is Happy Birthday, Alexander Hamilton. Look at the face on any $10 bill. That's not a president. It's Alexander Hamilton. He was born on January 11th, 1755. He came to the United States when it still belonged to Great Britain. Then the Revolutionary War began. Hamilton became an aide to General George Washington. After the war, Hamilton became a lawyer. He wrote about the laws of the new nation. George Washington became the first president. He chose Hamilton to be in charge of the nation's banks. Hamilton was the Treasury Secretary. In 1804, Alexander Hamilton died. He was shot in a duel. Okay, now we have 4 comprehension questions that we're going to look at together. Number 1 says, who is shown in the image? Okay, and Mrs. Kincaid talked about this earlier. If we go over here and look at our image, we don't actually have a picture of a person here. And if we look at our choices, they say A, Alexander Hamilton, B, George Washington, C, the King of Great Britain, or D, the man who shot Alexander Hamilton. So, we are going to have to use our passage to help us with this because they want to know who is on the image of a $10 bill. So we are going to have to go into our passage right here at the top to help us with the answer to number 1. Okay, number 2. Why did the author most likely write this text? Okay, the author wrote this text for one of 3 possible reasons. 1, to entertain us. 2, to inform us. Or 3, to persuade us. So, you're going to want to think about what we read here about Alexander Hamilton. Was that to entertain us? Was that fun? Something we would do for our spare time just to have a nice time, to enjoy it? Was it informing us? Did you learn factual information about Alexander Hamilton in that passage? Or persuade? Did it make you think one way or another about Alexander Hamilton? So that's what you're going to need to think about for number 2. Question number 3. Which paragraph is mostly about Alexander Hamilton's early life? How can you tell? So right now, I want you to look here. Number 3, we have 2 questions here. So we've got to make sure that we answer both parts. The first question said, which paragraph is mostly about Alexander Hamilton's early life? So we're going to have to go to our passage. And if you look over here, when we indent, that's considered a new paragraph. So we actually have 4 of those here. So you're going to be looking at those and deciding which of those is about his early life. And then you're going to have to tell me how you can tell. Tell me about the information in there, how you know it is actually about his early life. Question number 4 says, complete the timeline with details from the text. Now on this one, we're going to have to do some highlighting or underlining for sure. So let's look here. They've already told us Hamilton is born in 1755. Hamilton came to the U.S. Then we have to find out what happens next before Hamilton became an aide to General Washington. The best way for us to do this is going to be to go back to our passage and find where it says Hamilton came to the U.S. I want you to go back into our passage, find it, and underline it. Next, Hamilton became an aide to General Washington. Again, go back to the passage, find it, and underline it. Then you're looking for what happened to Alexander Hamilton in between there, because that is going to be our missing information. And we're going to do the exact same thing down here to find this answer. Hamilton was a lawyer. Go back to your passage, find where it says he was a lawyer. Underline or highlight that. Next, Hamilton was killed. Go to the passage, find where he was killed. Underline or highlight it. Then again, you're going to try to find what happened in the middle. After Hamilton became a lawyer and before he was killed, what happened in his life? So that should help you with your Alexander Hamilton comprehension check. If you have any questions, just get in contact with your teacher. Bye.